I sometimes think that I actually think better underwater than I do on land. I don't know if it's because of the elevated amount of oxygen in my blood because I'm swimming at pressure, but it's true that during any science dive, either swimming to a site or swimming back to the boat, you have a chance to just look around and take the reef in and think about it in a broader way. And I remember very clearly doing that once on the north coast of Jamaica, staring at these two colonies that were supposed to be the same species, but they looked completely different. And the prevailing dogma was that the reason these different shapes occurred was because they were growing in different kinds of environments. But these corals were sitting side by side. And I remember very clearly saying to myself, those cannot be the same species. File that away and work on it, which is what I did a few years later. I think my most important contribution has been making people realize that the biodiversity of the ocean matters. It's not so much that it's under threat, which it is, but a lot of people have said that. But I think what I've done is shown how incredibly diverse, more diverse the ocean is than we realize, and how important that diversity is. One of the things I did recently was write a book, which was in celebration of the Census of Marine Life, which was a 10-year project. So at the end of the project, I wrote a book called Citizens of the Sea, where I tried to bring the beauty and wonder and weirdness of the things that live in the ocean to the general public. And then in terms of conservation, I've really, having spent my career, like many people in my generation, documenting doom and gloom, what I really want to do is continue to work on this beyond the obituaries projects that I have started with my husband and others. And the idea here is, instead of focusing on doom and gloom, which I think beyond a certain point people just turn off, is to start really celebrating and learning from the success stories that we have. I think it's really important for scientists to not only do their research and do it well, but also try to reach beyond their individual research projects and do something important for science and society as a whole. I've tried to do this everywhere I've worked. At the Scripps Institution of Oceanography, I founded the Center for Marine Biodiversity and Conservation. More recently, I've been involved with the Census of Marine Life and the World Bank's Coral Reef Targeted Research Program. And all of these involve bringing groups of scientists together and having the whole that emerges from that collaboration being greater than the sum of its parts. And that actually gives me a lot of pleasure of sort of making things happen, almost being like a movie producer for science, if you will.